Sales is the most lucrative skill in the world, period. The problem is most sales advice out there today is outdated, cheesy, and could even keep you from the deals that can make all the difference in your career. This is the No BS Sales School, a podcast for entrepreneurs and salespeople who want to master the skill of selling without all the BS. Welcome to No BS Sales School. I'm your host, Walker McKay. Today, I want to talk to you about something that is another subject that I kind of pound on, which is why I want to talk about it with y'all. And that is the problem with free consulting. And I want to give a shout out to my friend, John Babson, who is one of my favorite people. He's a damn good salesperson. He's been super successful. And John has always given me shit because he's like, well, you talk about no free consulting, but you got a book and you got published all this stuff on LinkedIn. You give away all this stuff on the podcast. I mean, you're doing free consulting. So there's a difference between marketing and free consulting. What's the difference? Marketing is general information. Marketing is kind of big picture stuff. I give you stuff, I give you concepts, but if you want to know how to make it work in your world, if you want to have somebody actually dig in and see how it works in your world, well, you got to pay for that shit, right? Whether it's $20 for a book or $800 for my course or, way more than that to be one-on-one coached by me or your company or whatever. So, or you individually. So in a group. So yes, I give away information because I want people to understand. Well, here's the thing. I'm trying to attract those people to me who have similar ideas and mindsets or who resonate with those. So the people that maybe believe that you should give away everything for free, they're not going to like my shit. They're going to hate it, right? They're not going to listen. That's freaking awesome. I don't want them to listen. I want the people that already resonate with this to go, yeah, that's the way it ought to be done, right? And so if it's just 10%, 1% of people, 1/1000th of people who resonate with that, those are the ones that will want more. And either they can enjoy my podcast, which is great, or buy my book, or do the course, or call me and talk about how we might work together in one form or fashion, right? So free consulting is giving people information specific to them without getting something in return. Now, what do I mean by that? So y'all remember the prospects system, right? For getting information from us, the prospects buying system, although sometimes they don't buy. If you remember this, step number one, right, is they ask about price, some version of how much does this cost? Or if you can save me money, I'm happy to do business with you. Make it about price first. If you make it past their first step, the second step in their process is to invite you in, have a conversation, ask you a lot of questions. You feel engaged. You feel like these people like me. And they ask you about things and you tell them about things and you make promises and you do all this stuff and they're engaged. And you may say, oh boy, I got a good one, got a live one. We've got a relationship. And then they'll say, you mind putting that in writing? Just to make sure that we're all talking about the same thing. And that can come in the form of proposal, can come in the form of, the specs and all that kind of stuff. So step number one, ask about price. Step number two is get free consulting. And most people say, well, that's our job. We're supposed to do that. We've got to do that. Well, maybe. Step number three, after you've given them everything and we're ready to overcome their objections, right, is say nice things and get rid of you. Hey, wow, this really looks great. Love what you've done. You guys are really amazing how you thought about this. Love the technologies you have. Like the way y'all are thinking about this, they might say. Really good stuff here. Why don't you do this? Why don't you call, I get my partner's out of town, or I need to sleep on this, or waiting on some other people to talk to us about this too. How about call me back in 2 weeks? All right. Say nice things and get rid of you. They're not giving you objections at that point. They're just getting rid of you. And then they got your information. You think they know anybody else who does what you do? You're damn right they do. Maybe somebody that says they do what you do. Maybe they're already working with somebody that says they do what you do. And they'll hand your proposal to them and say, hey, XYZ company just came by. They had some great ideas. Can you do this? And then chances are they'll lie about the prices you quoted. And what do you think the other guys, the incumbent says, or the other person they called? Oh, hell yeah, we can do this, even if they can't. And they certainly can't do it at the price that your prospect has told them, right? Because the prospect's trying to beat you up. And the last thing to do, we need to go in this too far, but is to disappear. We call them back just like we're supposed to, and they ignore our calls, give us unlimited access to voicemail, right? So does that help build the relationships we're looking for? I would tell you the answer is probably not. Not the kind I'm looking for, healthy business relationships. One way we can differentiate ourselves from our competitors is to not give away our shit for free. You're like, oh, but everybody does this for free. What kind of things are we giving away for free? As an example, when I was in the commercial real estate business, it was people are happy to show prospects around to look at buildings, look at land, look at investment properties, drive them around, give them all the information they wanted. Tell them about pricing, do analysis, all that kind of stuff, free. If you are selling insurance or something, that means that you go to market for them, give them all their things. Here it is. What do you want to do? Right? If you sell equipment, for example, maybe somebody says, how about bring your bulldozer on site so that we can try it out and see if it works. Most companies do that for free. Now there's smaller versions of this as well, right? Where you give somebody something that actually is tailored to them with pricing and all this other stuff for free. Well, you have to recognize this. When somebody gives you something for free, what kind of value do you put in it? Most people would say not much if they really think about it. I mean, just think about the ads you get in the mail, right? How many of those things do you really take any time and look at? I mean, they freaking go right in the trash, right? Or the bullshit trinkets and trash that somebody might give you, the koozies and the other stuff. Do you really pay attention and read that stuff? Or do you say, wow, these guys are great, they gave me this? I mean, generally not. Not as much as if you had to give something to get it. So here's what I want you to think about. It can be money, it can be access, it can be information, it can be any number of things. It doesn't have to be money, but it certainly can be. So I want you to think about the idea of reciprocity. If I'm okay doing this for you, will you do this for me? If I do this for you, will you do this for me? Give you an example. Somebody says, why don't you come over here, come to my office and let's talk. Okay, well, maybe their office is a plane flight away. Maybe it's an hour and a half, 2-hour drive or further. Maybe it's just around the block. What can you get in return for going around, for driving or flying or going to visit somebody? Could you get in return, hey, I'm happy to do that. You okay if we talk, figure out if we should take X step at the end? Hey, I'm fine coming over there. Looking forward to talking to you. If I'm okay doing that, would you be okay? Tell me whether or not you want to hire us at the end of that meeting. Oh, I could never do that, Walker. That's not the way our business works. Right. You know why? Because you've never tried. Our business is different. He doesn't get it. Listen to this, guys. He doesn't freaking understand. Okay, good. So if somebody trusted you 100%, let's pretend this is somebody you'd worked with for many years and they switched companies. And they said, hey, come over here. I want you to work with me at my new company. And they trusted you and they needed your help. Do you think they could tell, how many meetings do you think it would take them if they were the decision maker to say, hell yeah, let's do this? It would take one. Here's what I want you to understand. Nobody can see that you're better until they see that you're different. If you're going to give something, get something in return. This is how life works. If you're going to give something, get something in return. Don't assume that people are just going to take this and use it for good. Now, again, I don't think many of our prospects have evil intent, but if we don't tell them what we want in return, they're not going to guess. I think the reason that a lot of times our sales cycles go on longer than they have to is we're afraid to say, hey, if I do this for you, will you do this for me? If I go get you pricing, would you be okay? Tell me whether or not you want to buy. If I put this together for you and bring it over, will you have the right people in the room so we can make a decision? How about we talk for 15 minutes on the phone and then you decide whether or not you want to have a meeting? Get something in return. Give something, get something. Doing shit for free will not pay off. It's not a winning strategy. Maybe you're being nice, but you're not being kind to yourself or to your prospect because they can't see you're different. They can't differentiate you by your product because they can't see it, touch it, feel it, really understand it. It's not if they bought. They can't see how great your service is till after they've bought. Don't give that shit away for free. If somebody's not serious, they won't want to pay for it, or they won't do what you want. And then you could recognize, hey, this is a meeting I need to rush. I'm Walker McKay with No BS Sales. Want to learn more? Hey, John Babson, thanks for buying my book. See, we stopped free consulting there. Go to Amazon. Some will, some won't. So what? Who's next? Order a copy. Leave me a review. Thank you very much. Thanks for listening to the No BS Sales School podcast. If you're struggling to close deals, then I want to invite you to take my free mini course, where you'll learn the 7 most expensive sales mistakes that will cost you time, money, and credibility. So be sure to click the link in the show notes or go to www.7salesmistakes.com. That's the number 7salesmistakes.com. Thanks again for listening to the No BS Sales School podcast.